Hey, what's good, everybody? It's your boy DJ Fanatic Beats, content contributor for LiveOffBeats.com. Yo, welcome to this beat breakdown video. It's very unique. It took me a while because it has a lot of elements in it. I'm gonna try and break it down really quickly for you, and it's actually leaning more towards the Tyler the Creator sound, more like the Igor. Excuse me if I mispronounced that album. So it has like a retro feel, retro vibe, a lot of like 80s, 70s instruments and sounds, and I'm gonna get into it. And this is actually one of my most popular beats currently, so thought I'll share it with you and hopefully give you some inspiration. If you like to follow me, you can follow me on Instagram at DJ Fanatic Beats. It's PHANATIC, or Sounds for Producers on Instagram as well. So the first element I started out with, I think it was the drums. So let's just take a look, listen. And if you listen to if you're trying to make any type beat or like a similar sound of any artist or producer, definitely research their sound. You definitely like listen to the sound selections that they chose, the type of rhythms they like to do, things like that. You're just doing basically market research, and you're not biting their style. You're actually learning from it and my bad, and incorporating your essence into it as well, because there's no way you can make it exactly the way they're doing it. And you can also switch things up, kind of do what you like a little better. It's like cooking. That's why they call it a cook up. Let me just put a little more Old Bay on that. Let me just fry that a little longer, stuff like that. So you have your own taste and your own style. And this is just to kind of give you a template, if you will, a subtle template of things that you can do, and hopefully inspires you as well. So let's get into this. So this is a kick and snare on the first pattern that I played. And the kick is pretty straightforward, nothing too extravagant, and just kind of boost some of the sub frequencies and cut some of the highs in that particular sound. The snare actually it's a layered snare with a little bit of highs in there that I left, and that's to cut through the mix a little more, just to have it just sound a little more like cut through the mix and just have a little more presence. And of course I didn't figure that out until later as I was adding more sounds, because you make adjustments towards the end. So added this hi-hat, straight for a hi-hat, nothing crazy. And that's kind of what made this album, like the Igor album was I think #1. It beat DJ Khaled's, which he was upset about. It debuted at #1, and it was a very abstract sound, but he kept it very simple, and it's very musical. And I really like a lot of the songs on there. So the next thing I added, I believe, was probably just like an open hi-hat, maybe. No, this sound is very unique. It was like a percussion sound that had several elements in it, and I thought it added this nice feel. It's this track here, track 4, I believe. There we go. Yeah, so that sound has like a layered percussion element. If you notice, there's like a tom drum, and also like what do they call that? It's like a shaker and something else added. It's just layered very nicely. And you hear the tail end of it, kind of drag on. Drag on. Shout out to Drag On. He actually liked one of the beats I posted. And yes, that's the Drag On, Swiss Beats artist. But anyway, so here are the elements here so far that I have, which is kick, snare, and the percussion. Pardon me. And what I'm doing with this is like building up the rhythm, building up the percussion elements first. So next added, I think it was open hi-hat, so check it out. it's like a really low clap in the background, and I put it on the and of the beat. It's and. And if you notice, Tyler likes to do little stuff like that in his music. He likes going on the and of the beat with a lot of cool things. So just listen to it, man, and you'll hear things that you didn't pay attention to before. Next was another element. I'm not sure what it was. And notice it's a simple hi-hat roll, but I have it panned left and then panned right. You can do that simply either here, where you go to panning, have one left, one right, or you can do it in the channel rack here and go to panning here. And then, of course, you want your channel rack stretched out, and you can use it here as well. So 2 different options. And the next sound, we'll see. Hey. And when I heard that, man, I was like, yo, this is coming along crazy. And if you notice already, there's like 8 elements of drums already. So that's like a wood block that I found. And did I do anything crazy with it? It already had like reverb in the sound. I cut the lows and the highs. And it's very subtle, and I liked how it sounded with the drums. So I just added in the beat. So here it is. So you're already grooving. So next sound is like another shaker, and with a lot of percussion depth to it. It has a lot of instrumentation in it. And next sound, the toms. If you listen to that album, there's toms all over the place, but they're very subtly used. So you don't have to copy this exact drum pattern. You can kind of make your own little groove and think about these each elements. I think there's 4 different percussion elements, which I rarely do. You got 1, 2, well, the hi-hat roll separate. That's 4. We'll count that as 1. 5. That's 5 different percussion elements with the kick and the snare, and then you got hi-hat and the clap. So that's a lot, and that just shows like the detail that was paid attention to the drums, just in his beat. And I think that's why a lot of people are feeling it. It's different, probably one of the most different beats I ever made. But now we're gonna get into the sounds and the instrumentation chosen. Sound selection for this type of music is vital, with any music. So next, here we go with some sounds, pattern 9. So here it is. So I think I used Omnisphere for that. It's some type of clav or whatever. We'll check it out. I'll give you the exact sound. I'm not hiding nothing. It's the 90s keys vibe wet. So it was under keys, I'm sure. Keyboards. So it's like this old school vibe. Here's the description. You can read that in your spare time. But I thought it was kind of cool. It had like this retro Neptunes type feel, or Pharrell, whatever. But yeah, shout out to Neptunes too. So, and with the melody, it's pretty, if you listen to a lot of his melodies, they're very, very simple. Let's go with velocity. They're very simple. There's nothing, like the chords are crazy, but you get melody usually from chords. So I actually started with this melody. I was like, da 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 da. Like I fed off of the drums. And sometimes, like when you start with drums, which I rarely do, you end up making different type of melodies that have a different type of rhythm that can go with those type of drums. So let's play it again. And then added this. And that's a detuned rave saw. It's a polysynth in Expand 2. And next I added, I believe, some chords for like brass. And I'm gonna try to see if I can record this video and play it with the mastering plugins. We'll see. So I don't feel like, wow. We'll see what happens. Next I added almost like plucks in the background. So all I did, basically, I build from that first melody with that keyboard. And then I had contrast with this polysynth. You visually just look at the notes. You start out with like medium notes, like lengthwise, and you have these elongated. Now you have these really short stabs, and then you have like kind of in between. So visually, there's a lot of contrast here. And also the sound selections is vital to getting that sound. So I have the key, what do you call it, like clav or whatever, 90s keyboard or whatever. Then you have a polysynth, like a retro synth. Then you have brass. Brass is optional. You can put anything you want in there. That was just a subtle thing I chose. And here is like almost like a bell pluck, but let's play that by itself. As soon as I heard that, I thought like old 80 movies. So I like the sound by itself, and then I added it with it, so just to kind of have that in the background. And I think the last thing I added to this beat was the bass. And let's find out what sound that was, because I really liked it. Does it expand? I don't know. We'll find out. And yeah, the basses he used in that album. Oh, I used the storage plugin. Okay, so I found something crazy in the storage plugin, bass funk, and I wanted to get like just nasty funk, like just something not a typical 808. It had like this underlining sub in it. It had exactly what I was looking for, because I wanted like lower end to it. And I think I boosted that lower end in the bass. Yeah, see, I boosted it up a little bit, below 78 hertz on down, so that way it has like that extra sub harmonic feel to it. So here's everything. I'm gonna play it from the beginning through the chorus and some of the verse, so you can just vibe out a little bit and get an idea of the whole beat. And hopefully the underruns won't go too crazy. So check it out. there you go. That's pretty much the whole beat right there. Every element. I showed you pretty much sound selection, the contrasting of different type of notes. You know, even visually you can tell, you know, long notes and short notes, and also, you know, the percussion and the detail, paid attention into the drum part. There's a lot of percussion elements, you know, and also the type of sounds I chose for the beat. And it has an interesting groove, you know. You can always come up with different rhythms of your drums. You don't have to have like the same type of rhythms over and over. You know, naturally your body or your mind or your creative state will show you how to make it, you know, automatically. And let this be like some type of guide that helps inspire you to make something today, right now, with this type of style, you know. Get some nice drums that you want, find some really cool percussion elements, even try things with panning, you know, pan percussion elements left and right. I think I did a couple things there, and a lot of the sounds had panning already built into them. I did some things in the channel rack, I mean in the piano roll, that you can do with panning. Effects wise, I didn't do too much. A lot of the sounds were what I wanted, just pretty much EQ and shape things. And look, and there's already reverb on the sound, so you know, pretty much everything I chose was right on point, and this beat came about very easily, and I'm happy how it came out. You know, it's just something different I haven't made before, and you should always like feel free, you know, like to try different things. Don't get stuck in a rut and just keep making the same thing over and over, because you know you have that potential in you to be bigger than what you do. You know what I'm saying? Bigger than you are, and sometimes you don't realize that. But challenging myself to make stuff like this definitely pushes me out more creatively. So hopefully you're inspired. Make something dope today or tomorrow. Actually, make something dope today. Make tomorrow today, because tomorrow's never promised, man. So anyway, I'm not going to preach too much. Shout out to the homie Postman. That's my boy right there. Appreciate you, man. And again, it's DJ Fanatic Beats, content contributor for LiveOffBeats.com. And you can follow me on Instagram at DJ Fanatic Beats, PHANATIC, or Sounds for Producers on Instagram. Check you out on the next video. Peace and love.